Hey, welcome back, everyone. I am finally back in Stockholm. Unfortunately, there are no Eugene peeps with me today. We had a lovely time in London at EGX Rest. But I do have someone next to me. Roland,
Yes.
you are here because you work as a QA here at Paradox.
Yep.
And I needed someone who could basically maneuver the game because today we have hinted that we're having a larger announcement. Unfortunately, due to sickness and people moving around, I don't have we don't have Peter, who's usually right here explaining how everything works. He is busy otherwise, which is unfortunate because today, as mentioned, is a pretty big day. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot, Roland.
Yes.
Did you watch the streams from London?
I have to be honest, I didn't watch them.
Oh,
I had other priorities. I'm sorry.
I am so disappointed. No, however, there might have been some eagled-eared viewers that noticed that Alexis mentioned something about a beta, and I was like, I don't think we've talked about that. So let's talk about that. Tonight, it's currently, it's 5:30 here in Stockholm. In 1 hour and 30 minutes at 7, we will release the pre-order for Steel Division. We will also announce a release date. We're not going to do it here because that's going to be at 7. The reason this is important because with the pre-order is the exclusive beta. So if you get the pre-order, you get to play the beta we're about to show you the pre-order goes live in 1.5 hours. If you buy it and download it, you can play tonight. I'm going to look over at the chat now and see what they're saying and respond to some questions. Okay. There are a lot of yeses being timed out by our chatbot because there are too many E's and S's and stuff like that. So that's great. That said, so this stream today is going to be me and Roland just going through what's in the exclusive pre-order beta, what you can expect. This is what's in the beta today. There will be some more stuff added. Some stuff will not ever be in the beta, just so you guys are clear. And I'm going to read through quickly from our FAQ a quick list of what's actually in it, and then we'll go through it. So hopefully everything's going to be straightforward. I don't want to mislead anyone into believing that there are some things that aren't there yet. So in the exclusive beta, there are 3 maps currently. It's Colombelle, it's the second one, which you are much better at pronouncing.
Point to Oak.
Exactly. And then finally there's Sword, which is a 10v10 map, and we'll get back to that shortly. There'll be 4 divisions. The 3rd Armor Division, the 15th Infantry, the 12th SS Panzer, and the 91st Luftlandde. Okay, I'm good. I'm good at World War II division names, so I'm sorry if I butchered any of them. There's also 2 game modes, Conquest and Destruction, and last but not least, single-player skirmish and multiplayer. We do see some people asking about price. I am going to let you guys wait until 7 for that, because since this is a stream that happens before the actual announcement, I'm like, what can I say? What can't I say? So I'm being slightly cautious, but don't worry. I think you'll you'll know what to expect, probably. That said, so what's not going to be available in the beta is the single-player campaign. That should never, ever be in the beta. The tutorials are unfortunately not in the beta, and matchmaking will be at release. It's currently not in beta, and by matchmaking, we mean skill matching. So the game will try and match you with worthy opponents. There's currently a lobby, and you can join games online, no problem, but the actual skill matchmaking is not in the beta. Okay.
Let's go.
Should we show off the maps? I think I think we'll start by going through. Should we start by going through the maps, or should we start by going through the divisions? What do you think?
I think the divisions might be easier.
Okay, yeah, let's go through the divisions. So they're, of course, in battle groups. I know that Peter and Seek showed you, and we talked about it previously. Building your own battle groups is actually pretty important. There is an autofill function, which I use quite a lot because I haven't played as much as I should have yet. I had to go to London and stream this game. Currently, the two ally divisions are 3rd Armoured, which are Spearhead, and then 15th Infantry Scottish. Roland, what do you have to say about them? You looked around at them a bit earlier.
Yeah. The thing is that I like the armored because they're very mobile.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a big punch at the sea face, which is like the end game where you can just push out everything you have.
Yeah, so not surprising that the Armored is a tank division, so they're not going to get many recruitment points in Phase A, and then, of course, all of them in Phase C. So if you can hold on early, you have a good shot. The 15th Infantry, kind of almost the opposite, as we can see, pretty strong, well, very strong early, and then keeping strong in B, and then falling off in C. And they're also an infantry, so they do want to push. They do want to push early. Will other divisions be added over time? Currently, I'm not 100% sure. I assume so, but please don't take my word as a yes or no. I know that more content should be added to the beta over time, though, and I would assume there to be different divisions, but I don't have 100% confirmation. You guys, for any questions, for example, that we can't answer, I guess it's important to point out that tomorrow Eugen is having their first Steel Division stream. It starts at 18 o'clock, so 6 p.m. Central European Standard Time, or summertime, which we're in right now. So basically, in 24 hours plus 20 minutes, they'll have their first stream, and you can ask them a bunch of questions that we currently can't answer or don't want to answer for them. How long will the beta last? That's a good question. My assumption is I'm not 100% sure. I've heard 6 weeks. I've heard till release. I do not have I don't have a confirmed end date for it. So once again, I don't dare to say, but it's part of the pre-order, and I would assume that as long as you pre-order, you have access to it. That's my assumption. But once again, that might be something you want to double check if it's important to you. Make sure. Let's see. Do I actually have? Right. I do have an FAQ. So will there be continuous update to the beta? Yes, we will release patches. So I should be confirming that. And then depending on what the content is, I guess that's part of a different story. VirtualNight.de says, are we allowed to stream the beta via Twitch? The answer to that is yes, you are. You can stream, you can capture screenshots, and you can talk about this beta. There is no NDA. You are free to do that. We will, of course, be streaming throughout the beta from here and at Eugen as well. Currently, for those interested in Twitch streaming, the Steel Division game is not yet in the Twitch database. I'm working to make sure that it'll be up there today or tomorrow. You should be able to pre-order on Steam and on Paradox Plaza. Currently, there are no links in Twitch chat because the pre-order isn't live yet. If you're watching this on YouTube, though, there's a link in the description below. Right, back to the divisions. Do we just want to pop in and see what they have,
sure.
the units they have available? Let's go through the Spearhead first here. So this is the battle group overview. Should we autofill and see what it gives us? So
it gives us a lot of tanks.
It gives us a lot of tanks. I was going to say that's a decent amount of stuff in B and C, but that's hardly surprising. Not that much recon. Personally, I'm a big fan of the recon scouts because, of course, they're a lot harder to spot. The autofill doesn't give us that many of those. Can we have more? Mm-hmm. We can have some. Not that many, unfortunately. They're not that experienced either. which is a shame, but you can't be great at everything.
No, exactly. And I think at least something that we always did when we were playing the game is we went very light on scouts.
Hmm.
And we try to hide them away behind enemy lines to figure out where the enemy is.
Yeah, exactly. Just making sure that you use the scouts for vision rather than actually try and take everything. And I did like the gameplay we saw from EGX Rest where Zelkares, I think it is, actually made sure that the scouts will never ever shoot, so they're just behind enemy lines, giving vision. Let's go through the other ones so we can be really thorough here.
The other scouts immediately, or
no, I'm saying the other. So go from infantry to tank, and just have a quick look because I know that there are some people that want to see everything that's available. So a lot of experience here. Some 1-star, some 2-star. This is some.
and heavy in the B phase as well.
Very heavy.
And you can see that the prices here are a lot higher.
Yes.
So you can see the price you pay for to deploy them. Usually, if we go to an A scout, it's around 90 or 80.
Yeah.
And you can see it almost doubles.
But they're so much better, though. So much better.
Of course.
So much better. Let's just go through all of these here and see what we have over on support and anti-tank as well.
Yeah.
Just so. Yeah. Okay. So some Scots, flamethrowers. Here's the thing, I haven't played enough with the flamethrowers. Have you managed to play with the flamethrowers yet?
Yes, they're really good against buildings. If
Yeah.
you want to get people out of buildings, you use the flamethrowers.
Because I want to use more flamethrowers, but I haven't had the opportunity of using them yet. And part of me is like, maybe it's because I'm scared, or maybe they're not good. But I just want to get going with the flamethrowers.
But it's difficult.
Yes. Let's. Oh yeah, we might actually not be playing on the highest graphics setting here. I just realized because it looks a bit weird. But that's beta and that's hot code. We will make and we'll double check and see what we're at. Let's go. Let's just have a quick look at the rest of these options we have available here. So anti-tank and then onwards to anti-air. Anti-air. Who wants to fly anyways? Artillery. Some nice early mortars, which is great. I see that the autofill has decided not that heavy on any mortars. Just it was one in A, one in B, and one in C. And then finally, what air units do we have?
No, not that many.
No, some grasshoppers, some lightning, Mustang, and the Thunderbolts. Okay, let's get out of here and discard that and go check out the other ones just so we can go through them. I guess we can do this slightly quicker. I'm sure you guys will slowly but surely figure out all the things that we missed. We will check and see if the Germans have any flak 88s. But we can let's just go through the Scottish infantry first, because these guys, if we autofill, I think they're really. Yeah, they have a lot of experienced infantry and recon units, and we saw these. If I recall correctly, we did see these at EGX Rest, and they have some really good. They're an infantry unit, so of course they have good infantry, but more importantly, they've really experienced infantry, which is great.
Invaluable.
Yes.
The experience difference is very noticeable, and that's why leaders are so important as well.
Yeah.
If you can see here, the star means that it's a leader, and it has an aura around it, which gives one experience to everything in that circle.
Yeah.
So it's hugely.
Yeah, and that was something Alexis talked a lot about in London as well. The fact that people should recognize how important experience is, and those units that don't have the experience, they're gonna stress faster, they're gonna break faster, and that's usually a bad thing.
Yeah, that's how you lose wars.
Yeah, let's see how bad their tanks are comparatively. Yeah, there's a nice leader, Churchill, there, and then there's a Challenger, and that's pretty much. There are actually some in the list at the top as well, like up there, that way. That I just missed. I just looked at the available units rather than what was actually selected. So there are some Churchills. That's nice. Onwards.
Support.
Support. Yeah. Let's just click through these.
If you need ammo.
Yeah. And then some Piats.
And then the anti-tank and anti-air is fairly straightforward as well.
Yeah, I think we can just hop through.
I think what these divisions really defines is the infantry. And with the armor, the spearhead, obviously, it's the tanks.
Yeah. I mean, you can see that anytime there's infantry, they usually have, most of them are experienced. Yeah. So if you want to have like good infantry units, try the Scottish. I know that there's a certain contingency here in the Paradox offices as well that claim that the Scottish are the best. I think there's three of them. There's someone called David. There's one called Chris, and there's some dude called Jake. But I don't know. I don't trust them. I think this is very suspicious.
Never trust the Scots.
Never trust the Scots, except for when it comes to infantry, because they're dead good at that apparently. Okay, onwards. And onto, so in the for the Axis we have the 12 SS Panzer, and then we have the 91 Luftlande. It's the same here. One infantry, or more. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, this is airborne.
Exactly.
So they are a little bit more mobile, but it's infantry, and then you have the armored division, which is a 12 Panzer.
Yeah, let's go through them as well, because otherwise people are going to be annoyed with us if we don't. So we can see, yeah, recon units, a lot of experienced infantry, some grenadiers, and some flamethrowers, which is fun, and pioneers.
Yeah. Then the tanks, as you can see, very CMV phase as well.
Yeah, all the Panzers all the time.
Yeah, only one in phase A.
That's actually, there are some Panzers as well. Yeah.
Then the support. Even some experience here as well.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of the things where I realize we're both going very slow and rushing forward, but it's one of those cases where, like, when you want to build battle groups, I tend to be like, I have to look and I have to go through all of them and be like, how many slots do I have? Where do I want them? But right now we're just going through them so you guys can see what's actually in here.
And it's the actual army, so it's if you don't set this up very efficiently, you will lose more battles. Yeah,
that said, apparently some of the feedback we got from the London event as well, when we had players come in that had experienced the VIP beta, they were like, yeah, the autofill is actually pretty good. It does a decent job. Of course, you still probably want to tweak it a bit, but it's not half bad. It kind of does what it needs to do. Let's see. If you click through, I'll see if there are some questions here. Will there be a beta for people who don't pre-order? I have no information about any other beta than the pre-order exclusive beta. So currently, I guess that's the answer I have. So I don't have any. Will it be possible to set villages and forests on fire and dry defenders out? I think when it comes to setting stuff on fire, that's kind of a definition. You can definitely get people out of buildings with flamethrowers. You can what's the word? You can destroy the ground people are walking on, and that will kind of affect them badly. And then it's a question of is there a fire mechanic where the fire spreads?
At the moment, you can't set woods on fire, for example.
Yeah. Will the beta be immediate access? As in, once you get the pre-order, you can download and play this beta. Yes. And how much of the game will be available in the beta? We'll go through all of this, and then we'll go through it again, because we did at the start, but some people might have missed it. Okay. And yes.
And the last one then.
Exactly. Let's do this. Ooh. Not quite. They have some really experienced units and some less experienced units. Like there's because if I recall correctly, the most experienced a troop can have is 2 stars. Then they can get a third if they're next to a commander, but you can't actually get a deck piece that has 3 stars. So these are very experienced, and then there are some that aren't experienced at all.
Yeah, I think the reconnaissance on this division is going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm checking to see if they come with the vehicle as well.
Yeah.
Like if you see here, if this has a value, it will come into the battlefield as well, so you can use it. But unfortunately, these guys don't.
No, these guys just drive in and then jump off. And
yeah, exactly. You deploy them.
Yeah, I know that Halloween at the London event, he talked a lot about how much he liked the half tracks. And there, of course, if I recall correctly, they're infantry units that have a half track with a mounted machine gun.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Yeah, the Germans don't seem to have it.
They don't care about half tracks.
I think it's in the Scottish division.
Is this game also moddable as EU4 or HOI4? Now, it's hard to answer if a game is as moddable as something else, but my understanding is that there is, in the main menu, once we get back to it, you'll see that there is a mod option. So the beta should, I think, be able to run mods, but it's a question we'll leave over to the Eugen stream tomorrow, so take that with you and go over there and ask them, and they can give you more information. It's not as many tanks, surprisingly. Oh, there's some Stugs. And more Flammen.
Flamethrowers.
I don't know why I like flamethrowers, but I just find them. I guess it's the. I think it's a case where I like them more than they're actually good. Like, they have a very specific purpose, but I'm like, you know what? At some point,
throw them in there.
Yeah, at some point there's going to be people in a building, so I need some flamethrowers.
Yeah, and if you can get close enough, it's incredibly powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we've seen.
Will the terrain? Will the game have terrain scarring? As I mean, every map you start on, of course, hasn't had battle on it, but once you battle through, you could argue that there is definitely a certain tactic where I'm going to destroy these buildings to make sure that my enemy can't get into them and secure that location. And I think we've seen that in a few of the skirmishes already. It's going to take a while, but there's definitely scarring in that sense. Can AA tanks shoot at ground targets? Not 100% sure on that one.
I know that AA guns, so portable AA guns, can also shoot at ground targets. I'm not sure if that's the case with AA tanks, but yeah, let's assume it is.
The Eugen stream, I need to hear back from Pierre-Yves if they're doing it here or if they're doing it on their own stream, which is at twitch.tv/Eugen Systems. Regardless, we'll make sure that we host it on this channel. So as long as you show up here at tomorrow at the time, or watch on YouTube, I guess, you should be able to watch it. You shouldn't have to worry about it. Airplanes! These have a... I'm actually really... Yeah, I was going to say I'm bad at German airplanes. I don't actually know how good these are, but they seem to have a larger selection at least. This is like the shittiest commentary. Being like, yes, there are more of them.
But more is always good.
Yeah. Paradox Interactive, your US flag is wrong. The red and white stripes are backwards. Hot code! That's what's happening here. So some of the things, or actually, remember, like I said, this is a beta, this is hot code, so not everything is final, and there will be some of these mistakes.
That's a bug I can write tomorrow.
Yes. Okay, so those are the current divisions that are in the exclusive beta. Let's go into options before we go to the maps, because I know there's been some talks about... We showed this off a bit in London as well, but for icon type, of course, you can choose RTS. You can also choose NATO symbols. One of the things that I just wanted to point out, because we had some comment on it, it's the display frontline. Because it's currently set to opponent, so you'll see your opponent's front line. You can set it to player, which would be your own, of course, both or none. So if you don't want the front line visible, you don't have to have it. I would highly recommend that you have the front line visible, otherwise you're probably going to lose.
Yeah, you can always zoom out. Like even if you play without with none, I think if you zoom out far enough, you see the strategic
Okay, well
flying.
in that case, maybe it's not as harsh. I'm just like, I really like the dynamic front line, you guys.
Use it. Use it.
Let's see. What game inspired Steel Division other than obvious Wargame and Rus? Well, when I've talked to Pierre-Yves and more specifically Alexis, they convey like that Steel Division is kind of what they learned from developing both Rus and then Wargame. So I would say it's an amalgamation of those. And once again, I'm answering for Eugen, which I shouldn't because they can answer better. But I think it's mainly their previous games that have like, okay, so this is what we want, this is what we like, that kind of stuff. Can we play 10v10 in the beta? I guess we should answer that. Let's go back, because if we go into multi here, yes. So go to multiplayer game and then press create. I just want to show the creation.
Yep.
So here the options are 1v1 up till 4v4, which of course isn't 10v10. This is, I guess, is important to be clear about. The way to play the map Sword in 10v10, the only way to do that is to play on the official servers that Eugen has currently set up. So there are two currently. There might be more later, since we are essentially the only ones that have the beta currently. No one's playing, but there are two official servers for Sword 10v10. One of them is Conquest. The other one is Destruction. Have you played any Destruction?
Yes.
What do you think of Destruction compared to Conquest?
It's less tactical in the sense that you can just go in and try to destroy as much as possible.
Yeah, because the way you win Destruction, right, is that you get the points of the units you destroy.
Yeah, you gain points depending on how many units you destroy, correct?
Yeah.
And so the snowball effect is higher than in Conquest.
Yeah, but both of those options are of course available in the beta. So just for the sake of doing it, let's create a game. So that people, let's go for a 4v4. Yeah, that's good. And then press create. And this is essentially what it looks like. You may have seen it before. This game should now be visible if you search for empty servers, or partly empty servers, I think. And then you can join this game. Of course, there's also a chat on the side and all that jazz, and here you can set everything up. You can pick between Colombelles and
Pointe-du-Hoc.
See, I don't know why I'm so scared of saying Pointe-du-Hoc, but because it's I'm going to butcher it, but only half badly, because these are mostly the settings. I thought one final thing while we ask some more questions, we should go into the last two maps in skirmish mode and just have a quick look at the maps and possibly some starting setups. So, because that's of course also available currently. So, what do you think we should play on Colombelle? Because let's go 4v4 then. Mainly because we get more of the map.
Yeah, the map increases as you play with more.
Yes.
It gets bigger. Oh.
So let's just add a bunch of medium AI to this and see what happens. While I look over here and see if I can answer some more questions. Play with Daniel. He's hosting the game and he's all alone. Yeah, I talked to Daniel after the Hearts of Iron 4 stream, and he was like, I need to. He's really interested in the game, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna. We'll see how good he gets. We'll see how good he gets. And don't worry, we'll go through both of the maps so you can see what they're about. So this is the, of course, the setup. When you're playing with AI, they will set up their units first. And did I get an important message? Right. I see some people are all, asking again in chat when you can pre-order and where. In an hour. you can pre-order on at least Paradox Plus and on Steam, and if you do that, you get instant access. Well, once you've downloaded the game, to to the beta. So in theory, you could be playing in like an hour and 5 minutes, depending on how fast your internet connection is. I think the download is like 10 gigabytes or something, 10, 12.
That's possible.
Something like that. He said, not really remembering what the download is. But yeah, let's have a quick look at this map. I do have a description of this map because I came partly prepared, which is good because otherwise I would just ask. I kind of get so Colombelle is a small industrial town with an important steel factory, which I think we can see over here,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Colombelle was an eastern outskirts of Cannes. By July 19th, the north side of the Orne River had been secured by the Allies, but the southern side, where Colombelle lies, was still in German hands. As part of Operation Goodwood, the 3rd Canadian Division was assigned to take Colombelle, but first the town would be pummeled from the air. Halifax and Lancaster bombers dropped nearly 5,000 tons of high explosives on Colombelle, destroying much of the city. The bombing and artillery rendered what was left of the town a moonscape, dotted with craters that made movement into and around the town very difficult. Without armor support, the attacking Canadians made very slow progress in capturing the town, hampered by a well-fortified enemy and the taking of prisoners. Another wave of bombers were called in to neutralize German positions in the local castle and the steel factory, but this had no effect. The advance through heavy dust took a heavy toll on Canadian officers who were targeted by German soldiers. After a day of heavy fighting, the outnumbered Germans finally surrendered. The steel factory and castle were destroyed in the battle. Well, currently, the steel factory is still standing. I think if we zoom in on it, it's pretty neat looking, especially if you're used to the previous like Normandy aesthetic with like small rural farm towns and just a lot of fields and farms and stuff. So it's nice to see some, in air quote, heavy industry here. It's going to be interesting to play around with. Quick question, is there single player? There is skirmish mode in the beta. The single player campaigns will not be available in the exclusive pre-order beta. Will there be matchmaking eventually? Yes. In the full version of the game, there will be matchmaking. Currently, the skill matchmaking is not implemented, but it will be in the final product. How many maps are available in beta? 3 currently. It's Swords, which unfortunately we can't show off because we need 20 people to get into the map. And then Colombelle, and then Pointe du Hoc. Does Paradox have any input on the design of Steel Division? Of course, we do have some when it comes to producers, but it's not so much the game design. It's more making sure, game dev stuff. It's definitely Eugen Systems game. They decide on most of the stuff, and then of course we have opinions. For example, when Roland says the American flag is backwards, then that's probably something that should be fixed, regardless of where it comes from. Let's see, what else do we have any other fun landmarks on the 4v4 version of the map?
Well, you see here the river.
Yes.
Immediately, which is a nice flanking tool because it's hard to get over, but once you are there. Yeah.
But then I'm wondering if just for the river, how is the visibility on the other side of the river? It seems like it's pretty open, right?
Yeah, it's pretty open. Yeah.
It's if you do take some armored vehicles or something like that, it's pretty visible from afar.
Yeah. Yeah, but you have the forests here as well. If you are fast enough, and if you can distract them with fights in the city, then I'm sure that, well, it's been done to me. I have bad memories about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's a good reason for why
so if
saying
you
it
get
might
distracted work. In the town, then it's a risk.
Let's scroll over and see what else we have here. So some quite large road, and then some roads actually going horizontally rather than just vertically up and down. So if you can control those, you can move quite quickly.
Yeah, the mobility is key in the game. It's if you control the main traffic veins, then you can get everywhere around the battlefield.
Yeah, like I've seen some roads are just like, no, this road is on lockdown now because there's a tank that can see everything, and you can't actually drive up it, so you're kind of forced to sneak around and going slower. Will there be naval battles eventually? As far as I know, there weren't any naval battles of that type in Normandy, so it's not going to be any in Normandy 44. Let's keep scrolling right and see what else we have. Okay, and there's a pretty big village comparatively. Well, I mean, I feel like any place where two roads cross in Normandy 44 is like, this is a big village. There's like 5 houses here.
Yeah.
But that is actually quite a big village, and it will take a while to battle through. We already have some destruction here, though, from I guess earlier bombing. So semi-destroyed. Okay. And then what do we have over on the utmost right-hand side? So just more
fields and forests.
Yes. That's tank country.
Yes.
Okay, let's jump. I'm Swedish, I can't say jump. Let's have a look at Point the Ock as well, unless there's something specifically you feel like we missed right there.
No, I think we covered everything. The steel factory and the river with the open fields is key.
And of course, that was the 4v4 version of the map. If you're playing on a 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3, it'll be smaller, or rather, it won't be as wide. Is there any way to control your AI ally? Not 100% sure, so I'm not going to answer that one. I'm going to leave that one up to you, Jen, unless you have some insight into that. No. Who's the best Steel Division player at Paradox? That's a good question. Who's the best on? Do you know who's the best on QA?
Nicholas by far.
Nicholas by far. Okay. So
Not me.
normally when it comes to the games here at Paradox, the best players are usually QA because they play the most, and I mean that's why Daniel's great at Hoi 4. Well, not only I guess there's also him just being good, but currently Nicholas probably. Yes. Should we just load into Point the Ock as well and see what we got?
So maybe we can do a 1v1 so that they see the difference.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's do that. See what happens.
Go away. Because you will see that the map will be more centered around one objective now.
Will we ever have the ability to set up private 10v10 games, or will it always be on official servers as Askren? Currently in the beta, it's on official servers. I don't know if that will change later in the beta, and I currently don't know the answer for that on the retail. I assume you're going to be able to set up your own, but I'm not 100% sure about that. It might be that it requires beefier servers because there are so many players on them. So I can't really answer that. Sorry, but ask Eugen about it tomorrow. And they can hopefully give you a good answer. Ooh, we're by the sea.
Yes. The point.
Which,
I guess this is the point.
Yes, which is important because that point is the highest point between Utah and Omaha beaches. The Point the Ock pronometry was used as a German gun location. These guns posed a threat to the American landing areas and had to be taken out. In the early hours of June 6th, after days of heavy Allied bombing, 200 Rangers approached the cliff of Point the Ock from the sea. The landing was under fire from German mortar and machine guns, but Allied warships kept the defenders from ambushing the Rangers as they scaled the cliffside. After seizing the bunkers at the top of the cliff, the Rangers discovered that the guns they had come for had been removed. This map covers the inland area from the point itself, where the Rangers were seeking their quarry. Patrols found 5 of the 6 guns and disabled them. A German counterattack sought to retake the peak and made headway into cornering the Rangers to a small pocket, but the Americans held out until help arrived on June 8th, 2 days after the daring assault. That's where we're at. Are you going to have flares notices that we can place on the map to notify allies, including AI notifying us of point of interest and enemies? Can't answer that because I don't know unless you know. It seems like it's neat feature. It seems smart, but I can't promise or say no.
Yeah, we do.
Okay,
here.
good. Whew.
So you can say put an attack beacon on the map,
Mm-hmm.
and it basically highlights the player or your team members where you want to go.
See, this is why I have you here.
I have a point.
Yeah. Like it needs someone who has played this a lot more than I have. How familiar will the game be to a wargame player? It's a good question. My understanding, after having talked to a lot of wargame players, there seems to be a lot of overlap. You can understand some of the mechanics pretty easily. Of course, there are differences. This is smaller scale. It has the dynamic front line, so that's definitely different. But the ones I've talked to, both at EG Express and online, have been like, it seems to be, the conclusion, at least to me, seems to be, if you played Wargame and you're good at it, you probably have an advantage going into Steel Division.
Yep.
Oh, and it's actually, but that's still for your friendlies only, so the opponent wouldn't be able to see that. But it's nice that it actually gives you that puff of smoke, so that it's visible.
Yep.
Is there a plan for an official multiplayer tournament? I do have those plans. I just haven't set them in motion yet, but I do have those plans. I'm hoping to have something cool by PDXCon. But yes, oh yes. I'm looking forward to streaming this game quite a lot. Okay, do we have anything interesting other than the sea? This is more like the semi-rural area I talked about previously. A lot of hedgerows, both roads going vertically and horizontally. It seems like as soon as you have a road that going like straight up and down the area of the map where there's actual play, those are going to be where you center your attacks, because it gives so much vision and so much mobility. But then again, coming in the middle to the road that's just above the health beacon, if you can grab that as the axis, you're getting those +1 points pretty quickly, and it'll be kind of hard to from the allies to get rid of you because of all of that hedgerow and all of those forests around there.
Yeah, just the ability to be able to reinforce so quickly.
We have the question: can we rebind hotkeys? There are definitely hotkeys. C is like the best hotkey.
Yes.
Because that shows the
line of sight
from that specific area, which is really good. If you know that there's a tank on the enemy side, you can actually use this to see, okay, so what's essentially that tank's area of control, or the same with, of course, anti-tank guns and whatnot. Very useful feature. You see the Eugen guys and most people playing it that know how to play it use it a lot, just to make sure that they know where you can be seen and where you can't be seen.
And the good thing is you can also toggle it on specific units, so that if you have a tank and you click on it, that you always see the line of sight around.
Yeah.
So you don't always have to use the cursor.
Smart. Very smart. What is the average length of a 1v1 game? Okay, so for those that don't know, a game, if we look at the top right here, it says time remaining 40 minutes. So a normal game can last for 40 minutes. The way the game ends is either time runs out, in which case you then look at allies or axes. Who has the most points? You get points, at least in conquest mode, by controlling a larger part of the map than your opponent. If you get to 51, you get 1 point. If you get to 58, you get 2 points, and this is per second. And as you can see further down, it says allies 0 out of 2,000. If allies or axes in this setup were to ever get to 2,000, they would win the game. If it gets to 40 minutes, then whoever has the most points wins the game. You can set this to shorter than 40 minutes, but the game, I think Eugen would agree, is designed to be 40 minutes. And then on top of that, there's of course, because we are in the setup phase now, so we have 500 recruitment points that we need to set up somewhere, and that might take some time as well. So that's added, and then you might want to look into your battle group and figure out, okay, so what do I want to do with my battle group? That kind of stuff, of course, adds some extra time as well. But in-game time is probably, if you're doing a regular 40-minute and you don't lose, is probably around, I mean, at least 40, possibly 50 minutes.
When we played, it was always around 40.
Yeah.
You need the time.
Is there a way to play beyond 40 minutes or less? I don't know. I mean, at some point you're going to run out of your battle group. You only have so many units. Maybe you can set it to longer than 40.
You can set it longer.
Yeah, I've only experimented with running it shorter. How long is the pre-order? The pre-order should be until the game launches. So if you get paid tonight at 12, which Jake 2.0 does, that'll be fine. Most important question, how well balanced is the game? Of course, that's always a difficult question. Eugen had a VIP beta, got a lot of feedback from that. There's been rebalancing after that, trying different things. This beta is not specifically for rebalancing parts of the game. It's making sure that, you know, everything works properly and such. But of course, there will be patches and updates to the beta. My experience so far is that if two even players play, then it's pretty even, unless someone makes a really sneaky maneuver and goes on the other side of the river around the steel mill. But I mean, it's a case of I think it's a case more of a player skill at this point. But of course, there's probably some tweaks that's going to happen back and forth.
As long as you don't run your infantry straight into enemy tanks, you should be
well balanced.
Fine.
Yeah. For vehicles that run out of supplies, can the crew disembark and play as infantry? I don't think so. I think a supply unit is a supply unit.
Yep.
And does the game use the Eugen system server system, or does it use Steam? I can't answer that because I don't know. So you'll have to ask Eugen. Let's see. Do we have anything else? Currently, I don't think so. I was like, this is only going to take 15 minutes and go through all of this. But luckily, or whatever, it took us slightly bit longer. Once again, because I think we're not going to start playing today. We just want to show you what was in the beta. And it will launch in 42 minutes. In the exclusive pre-order beta, once again, there are 3 maps. There's this one, which is Pointe du Hoc. There is Colombelles, which we showed earlier, both playable up to 4v4. And then there is Sword, which is a 10v10 map. You can also play it on the... and Sword is only currently playable on the official servers. There are 4 divisions: the 3rd Armored, the 15th Infantry, the 12 SS Panzer, and the 91 Luftlande. 2 game modes, Conquest and Destruction. You've mostly seen, from what we've streamed here, I think you've only seen Conquest. It's my favorite game mode, I would say. But then again, I say that not having tried Destruction. So, single-player skirmish and, of course, multiplayer. What's not available in the beta is the single-player campaign. That, of course, will come when the full game launches. The tutorials and skill-based matchmaking. And that's the short of it. If you want to know when the game releases, we will tell you in 41 minutes, 7 p.m. our local time. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's already out there. Don't worry about it. If you're watching on Twitch, you're going to have to keep your hold your bated breath for don't hold your breath for 41 minutes. But in 41 minutes, it should be available on Steam, on Plaza, and other places. Just follow us on social media, and we will tell you. And now my stomach is growling. That's, I think. Can you make your own decks? Yes. Making your own battle groups is a very large part of the game, and it massively affects how you play the game. And I think once you get a hang of it, you're always going to make your own battle group because you know how you want to play. It's 7 p.m. where I am, says Matosis. Well, then you'll have to wait till 8 p.m. I don't have anything more to say, and I don't think we have anything more to mention. So we are going to leave you wanting for another 40 minutes. But after that, the pre-order exclusive beta is available. So we'll see you in Normandy, everyone. Goodbye.